Welcome to the task breakdown for manually deploying Security Universal agents. My name is Brian Kaiser, the lead engineer for Security Universal, and I'll be your host for this task. Before we get started, let's take a look at a sample corporate environment to show how we can best utilize the Security Universal platform. While there are many individual customized approaches that you can take that will best fit your environment, the following is a basic example which will help you to understand the core structure of Security Universal network monitoring and management. For this example, we have a company with a large corporate office and then a smaller branch office. Each office has networking that contains multiple subnets, but for sake of space, only 2 subnets are shown here for each office. Next, let's add some servers represented in gray and workstations represented as laptops. When you sign up for Security Universal, you're provided with your own dedicated security platform that manages 24 individual security and compliance components, as well as access to the web console for management. To automate the deployment of agents, we're going to assume that we already have at least one Security Universal network connector up and running. It is the network connector's job to periodically report back to the Security Universal platform and to relay task instructions to agents under its management. Once the agents are installed on all hosts we want to manage, the agents will periodically check in with the network connector and report status, as well as perform any scheduled or on-demand security tasks. Now that we have an example of the Security Universal architecture, let's get started with the task. First, let's log into our customer-specific web console. First, let's navigate to the agent submenu by using the side menu button. Next, let's scroll down to the Agent Management tab. In order to create new agents, we need to make sure that we have at least one network connector up and running. Let's verify our current setup by clicking on the Network Connectors tab. As you can see, we have a couple of network connectors set up, so we're good to go. It is recommended to install the agents using the automated deployment option here, but for demonstration purposes, we'll manually create and install some agents by clicking on the All SU Buttons tab. We'll get started creating our first agent by clicking on the plus button on the right side of the table. Let's add the basic host information next. If you're unsure of a particular field, you can hover over the question mark button to see a quick explanation. Be sure to choose a network connector that the new agent has connectivity to on the agent management port, which is typically TCP 8082. Let's demonstrate on a Windows host by selecting the Windows option from the operating system field. The process of completing an agent deployment package should take a few moments, and then the installation instructions will pop up. When ready, let's click on the download button to download the agent deployment package. After the download is complete, click on the Done button to reload the agent directory screen. Now that we've created the Windows agent deployment package, we're ready to begin the Windows installation process. To transfer the deployment package to our target host, we're going to use a secure file share. If you prefer, you can also use common automation and deployment tools such as Active Directory, PowerShell, Puppet, or Chef. Here, we'll go ahead and copy the downloaded zip file to the file share. Next, let's remote desktop into the new agent host. We can see that the agent deployment package zip file was transferred over, so let's begin by extracting the contents to a newly created application directory. Once the extraction process is complete, we see that the deployment package has been successfully copied to the application directory. Scroll to the setup.exe file and double-click to open the installation wizard. You can read through and acknowledge the licensing agreement, and when ready, click on the Next button. By default, the optional Agent Intrusion Detection System and Malware Defender services are installed. Although it is not recommended, if you have existing tools that provide these services, you can unclick the components you prefer not to install. We next need to select a service account that will be used to run the Windows service. This account should have administrator privileges to ensure the ability to monitor all processes running on the machine. It's also important to note that if you're using a local account, that the account has the sign-on as a service right. To verify, you can navigate to the local security policy to ensure the account has the required right. Let's navigate back to the setup wizard and finish entering our account details. Next, we'll configure the additional options. The current directory where we executed the setup.exe file is auto-populated for the installation directory, but you can change the location here if preferred. The following details are provided and auto-populated by the web console, so they shouldn't be changed. We'll scroll to the next screen, and we are ready for the installation. Let's verify the installation details, and when ready, click on the Install button. The installation process will begin, and when completed, you can view the README file if you'd like. Now that the installation is completed, let's verify that our Windows Agent service was successfully installed. We'll use the Task Manager and navigate to the Services tab. And here we find the SU Agent service installed and running, so we can consider the manual Windows Agent deployment completed. Let's go back to our web console and repeat the process of creating a deployment package, but this time we'll choose a Linux host. We'll add the host details just as before, but this time let's choose Red Hat CentOS for our server operating system. The installation instructions are shown, and let's click Download to download the deployment package. Our Security Universal Agent directory will reload, and we can now see that the new agent is registered. We'll again use the secure file transfer to transfer the downloaded deployment package to the target host. Once the transfer is completed, we're ready to start the Linux installation process. Next, since this is a Linux host, we're going to SSH into the machine. The first thing we need to do on our target host is create the application directory. This can be any location you prefer, but for this demonstration, let's create a Security Universal directory within the opt directory. Next, let's unzip the deployment package from the share drive to our new application directory. Let's navigate to the application directory and check the contents to make sure the unzip process completed successfully. As expected, it looks like all of our files were copied over. And the last step for the installation process is to run the installation bash shell script. Let's check the agent service. Looks like we're good, so we can consider the manual Linux network connector deployment completed. And with that, we've officially completed this task and are ready to start using our new Security Universal agents. For all of us here at Security Universal, thank you very much for your time, and please check out our other task breakdown videos for more tips and tricks.